Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. I am your boy BigAL. This video is coming out to you guys just a touch late. We apologize for that, but this is Sunday, week 18. It's the final regular Sunday week of the year, regular Sunday games of the year. We're going to be saying goodbye. Good English, Al.
Be
We're going to be
saying.
saying goodbye to some of these teams because they're not making the playoffs. So this is their last hoorah. It's going to be a fun video to jump into. Before I throw it over to Matt to get his input on some of these things, just want to let you guys know for the season so far, going into this final week 18 with our locks of the week, which we give you guys every Sunday video. Our record is 27, 22, and 2. We had 2 pushes, 22 losses, 27 wins for a total record of 57% on the season. It's pretty profitable. It's pretty good. And so with that, Matt, how are you doing? And, welcome back to the Sunday week 18 vid.
Well, thank you for welcoming me back to the channel. I appreciate that. It's great to be here. Great hearing those numbers from you. I did think it was a little bit lower of a percentage. I thought we kind of, faltered off a little bit. We had a rough stretch there for like 3 weeks where we just went 1-2 for the locks of the week. So
Mm-hmm.
nice to see that that's still positive. We bounced back from those losses. We're kind of like a really good team in football. We have a couple losses and we're like, no, we're not going to stay here. We're not going to stay like at the bottom. Like we're going to pick it back up and move on. Just keep our head up, keep the chin up. And,
Correct.
get back on track. So, with that being said, yeah, great being back here. Like you said, final week, final time that we're going to be seeing a lot of these teams for, any sort of betting until next season. So, we're trying to make a little bit of money off of them until, before we say goodbye and before they're out of the league. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm stoked to do this.
Okay. So if you guys are new to the channel, which hopefully you're not because it's week 18, the way we do it for the locks of the week, I bring 5 games, Matt brings 5 games, over, under, or spread. We talk about them. We agree on 3 of them. We give those out as the locks of the week. Then we have a touchdown score parlay, which we've hit one of this season. It paid the guy, he put $30 on it, won 2.5 grand. Then we have a prop parlay, and then we have our teasers, which we've been pretty profitable on this season. So with that being said, Matt, is there anything else you want to say before we jump into it?
Just the fact that when we first started doing the teasers, we were hot and we were hitting one like every week for like 6 weeks. It was crazy. It was stupid. They just kept printing, and we've been kind of on a cold streak recently. So, time to get back online and back on track with that for the last week 18 of the year. So,
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. With that being said, Matt, what have you brought me for your 5 locks of the week?
all right, 5 locks of the week. Here you go. Here are my 5 options for you to take or leave at the table, at the door. We'll see how many we agree on. If we do agree on one, it's a guaranteed lock of the week because we both brought it to the table. First off, I got Bears at Packers. We're taking the over 41 points. I think over 41 in that game is too low with the Packers. They're going to be playing their starters. Like, Matt Fleur already came out and said, hey, we're playing starters. We don't care. Like, a couple years ago, they didn't play starters. They had a first-round bye, came out, and lost the first game in the playoffs. So, he already said, yeah, we're going straight. We're going strong. And I like the over there. Over 41. Bears aren't a great team, but I like the Packers to be able to score 30 on their own and then maybe pull some starters near the end of the game, but we'll see. Next, we're going Jags at Colts, taking the over 45 points in that game. Jags haven't looked great, but they looked pretty good last week, and then the Colts looked terrible against the Giants. I think that they'll be able to bounce back a little bit this week, look like a little bit better of a team, and just a little bit more competent. Then we're going Giants at Eagles. We're taking the over in that game too. Kind of weird here. I know that the Eagles aren't playing starters, but we saw the Giants last week against the Colts. Obviously, they don't care about having the first pick in the draft, and they proved that last week. I like them to just really just kind of do exactly what they did last week. Eagles are a better defense, but Eagles aren't going to be playing starters, as Sirianni already came out and said. So I like the over 37 points in that game. And then we're going Saints at Bucks. This one's kind of a no-brainer for me. I mean, we're taking the over 45. Like, it's another over, but we like it a lot. We like Baker Mayfield and the boys. Saints haven't looked all that great, but I still think that they're still a viable team against a Bucks defense that isn't the greatest. So give me the over 45 there. Then our last pick is going to be Chiefs at Broncos. We're taking the Chiefs plus 11. I like the 11 points right there that you're getting for the Chiefs. They're at the Broncos, I get that, and Chiefs aren't playing starters, but, I mean, I love Andy Reid here with the backups. We got Carson Wentz trying to prove himself that he's still viable in this league as either a backup or a potential starter next year for teams that need a quarterback. So I like this as Carson Wentz's debut, and he gets to play the whole game, go play with the backups that he's been playing with all year. I'll take Chiefs plus 11 there. I just think they're too good of a team to lose this game by a lot of points.
Okay. I will say right off the rip, we agreed on one.
Okay, and can I guess?
Yeah.
Bears Packers.
Nope.
Oh, I am surprised. Okay.
No, it's Chiefs plus 11.
Okay, that's the only one that we agreed on. Just the spread. Okay,
Yep. Yeah,
awesome.
and I have 11 and a half over DraftKings. So I get the hook in there too. But I mean, this thing was at 10, I believe, earlier on in the week, and it's moved up to 11 and a half. So it's moving in a direction that is favorable to the Chiefs. So I'm willing to take the higher number now than it was earlier, and I would have taken 10 anyway. So um, I can't say I love a lot of your picks. I don't mind the Giants over just because that number is so low, and they did just put a show on against the Colts. So, but like I like the Packers over, but I don't love it because I could see us getting 30 and the Bears getting 7, and then we're left in the lurch, you know.
Yeah.
And then I love the Bucks, but I don't know if the Bucks like I think they'll score a bunch of points, but are the Saints going to score anything?
Yeah, I think that they will. Like, it's week 18. What are you playing for this week? You're not playing for anything. There's no more stress on these teams. Like, and we see it time and time again. Like last week with the Giants. The Giants have not been good at all. They had 2 wins on the year. They go play up against a team that's, vying for the playoffs, and they just score on like every drive. Like, it's these things where it's like you're on your own 40 earlier in the season. You're not going for it on your own 40 on a 4th and 1. But now
Sure.
this week you are because you got nothing else to play for. Try to put on a show for the fans. I think that there's going to be a ton of points scored this week just because of that reason alone.
Okay. Okay. Let me hop into mine. So I've got obviously 4 because we agreed on 3. I think you're gonna really love one of mine, and I'm gonna try to sell you on a couple of the other
Okay.
ones. But okay, so I've got the Bucks minus 14. They have to win this game. If they lose and Atlanta wins, they get bounced from the playoffs. So they have to win. They've been awesome. The Saints have not. So I like the Bucks minus 14. It's a huge number. But Baker's, I think, either tied with Joe Burrow or just behind Joe Burrow in touchdown passes this season. So he's been on a tear, and that's without having Godwin for half the season and for missing Mike Evans for those 4 or 5 weeks when he was on IR. Then I like Green Bay minus 9.5. Like you already said, Coach LaFleur's like, we got to come in, we got to play our starters, we got to get a good mojo going. So I think they're going to dunk on the Bears. The last time they played them, it was a 2-point game. And this time around, the Bears aren't playing for anything. Green Bay has everything to play for. And Jordan Love is coming off a game where he didn't play his greatest. So I think he's going to have a massive game and he'll throw for 3 or 4 touchdowns. And Josh Jacobs is going to run wild and they're going to win this thing by 20. And then I got the Chargers minus 4.5. I think the Chargers, they're playing the Raiders, which the Raiders aren't good. Max Crosby's done. There's no real threat from them. Their defense is way better than the Raiders are. And you got Aiden O'Connell, who's good. And you got Brock Bowers, who's good. But they're not great. They're like Bowers is great, but Aiden O'Connell's not. And Justin Herbert's been playing great ball, and they still have to play for something here. I don't think they're just going to sit back and not play. So I think they're going to play hard, and Herbert's awesome. Then my final pick, I've got Jets Miami. I like the over in this game. It's 38.5. My take on it, Miami has to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive, and the Jets are coming off a blowout game. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out and he's going to have his last hurrah and kind of he's either going to retire after this game or he's going to try to go play for another team. So I think him and Devontae will have a good game. Garrett Wilson will come out and play, have a good game. And I think both teams can get to 40 combined. Miami's offense is prolific when they want to be, and the Jets, we've seen them be able to put up points. It's just they haven't been able to win games and finish teams off. So I like the over. I don't want to pick a side here just because it's 1 point. Even the book doesn't know what side to pick, but I think the over is pretty attainable.
Okay, so my only issue there with the over is the fact
Right.
that it's in New York. It's going to be cold. Dolphins don't normally play good in cold games. So that's the only reason why I didn't like the over here. And obviously, the Jets have been so volatile this year where they either have a good
Sure.
game or it's a terrible game and they can't do anything. They score 10 points. So that's the only reason why I didn't have the Dolphins and Jets over in my picks. I don't hate it,
Mhm.
but it scares me a lot that, the Dolphins could show up and not do anything. And I also think if the Bengals win tonight, like we're thinking that they're going to, and the Broncos somehow lose to the Chiefs, then
Yes.
I don't see the Dolphins winning this game. I think they're going to lose it to the Jets.
And then the Bengals are going to get in.
And then the Bengals get in. I don't see a world where the Dolphins get in, the Bengals don't. So I don't see
Sure.
I don't see the Dolphins winning this game. Jets aren't playing for anything, and like we've already talked about, like when teams don't have anything to play for, like the Giants last week, they just kind of show up. So we'll see how many of those games actually turn out that way this year too. But yeah, that's why
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, I'm not really on a side there. If I was going to be on a side, it'd probably be the Jets, but it also just scares me because we've seen the Jets this year. I don't mind.
Sure.
But
My only,
Bucks minus 14 is a lot of points.
it's 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. And I know that the Saints
It's
suck
also
this year,
Baker.
but Yeah, so I wouldn't mind the Packers at -9.5. I'll give you that. I don't mind that at
Okay.
all, just because the Packers should be able to dominate in that game. The Bears have looked
Okay.
terrible. Packers cream the Bears every time that they play against them. So I'm down to pencil that one in, guaranteed right now.
Okay.
Packers -9.5. I love that.
Okay.
I'll agree with you on that one.
All right.
Now,
Chargers -4.5.
Chargers -4.5 versus the Raiders. I don't mind that pick at all. Are Chargers playing starters?
I didn't Google it, but I would assume so. Like I said, they're in the wild card.
Yeah, so they're not playing for anything right now though. Like they can't change their position. Even if the Broncos win, they still keep that sixth spot. So
Sure,
I
but it's
don't.
the Raiders,
Yeah, that's fair.
and it's a Harbaugh team. He's not just going to be like, "Yeah, we're not playing anybody."
He's not just gonna roll over. Yeah, I get that.
Right.
Hmm. I don't mind taking Chargers -4.5, but like, what? Why can't you get on Giants Eagles over or Saints Bucks over? Like, I get that the over in the
Bro,
Saints Bucks is a lot, but you guys saw the
I
Giants score
took the
40.
over. I took over 43 in Saints Packers, and it was 37-0.
Okay, and you think the same thing will happen here?
I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen here, but like the Saints have been awful these
Yeah,
last
but we
what
also
3 4.
know that the Packers defense, their secondary is really good, and it has been for a
True.
while. It's way better than the Bucks, so I see the Saints scoring something here. It's not just gonna be another goose egg.
It just that one scares me more than the rest. It's the second highest. It's tied with Colts for the highest number you brought.
Yeah, which one would you prefer if you had to pick one? Like gun to
If
head,
I gunned ahead,
you taking Jags Colts over or Saints Bucks over?
no, I'm probably taking Packers over.
Yeah, but Packers over we're not talking about right now, unless you want to throw that one on too.
No, I'm saying when I look at year 4,
Yeah,
it's
Giants Eagles
Giants or
over. You
Packers for
don't
me.
like
Like
that?
I'm not even interested. I'm not even interested in Colts.
Okay.
Like those are the ones because they're too high, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Well,
And I thought about throwing
Chargers -4.5 just because of the coach.
final answer.
Yeah, final answer. We'll take them just because of the coach. I don't see him losing by a lot of points. They're gonna win, solidify it, go into the playoffs, still as the sixth seed, all that. Like they're gonna want to be hot going into the playoffs. His first year, the players are gonna want to go and play for him. Like that's just how it's gonna go. Even if they pull starters halfway through the game, or if they don't play him at all.
Sure.
Yeah. I still see the backups going
And
out there putting on a show. Like we've talked about, the Raiders are not a good team. They're not going to win this game. Chargers just need to win by 4.5. I'll take that.
And we've seen the Chargers be able to just put up tons of points, so they could get up to an early lead, 21-0, take their foot off the gas, pull their starters, like you're saying. And there's nothing that we've seen from the Raiders recently that tells us they're going to be able to fight their way back into a 21-point deficit, or
Yeah,
that they're even without Max Crosby going to be able to stop the backup quarterback.
yeah, exactly. Or the backup running back, or like all the backup receivers.
Right.
Like I don't see a world in where the Raiders win this game, and that's why it's like I'm confident here at -4.5. I could see it being they only win by 3, but I'm just really hoping not. I've been kind of against the Chargers this year, but against a bad Raiders team, I can't not be against them.
Right.
Yeah.
But you get the better coach, you get the better quarterback by far, and you get a better like you said better coach, but just like the team is more disciplined.
Yeah, a better
And a
dynamic
team that's
around the team.
playing for something, and a team that's playing for something because they're going to be in the playoffs, so they want to keep momentum going. Whereas the Raiders might be like, "Hey, we're to pack our bags, man. We're going. We're
Yeah,
out of here."
exactly. We're waiting for next year.
Right.
And they might
So
just try to feed Brock
okay.
Bowers more, but I mean that's only going to get you so far.
Right. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the 3 locks of the week. We have Green Bay minus Kansas City plus 11.5 or 11 depending on your book, and then we have the Chargers at -4.5 taking on the Raiders. Those are our 3 locks of the week. Hopefully, we go 3-0 for the second time this season, and we will end the regular season at 30, 22-2, which would be pretty nice. With that being said, Matt, let's hop into touchdown score parlays. What have you got?
All right, touchdown score parlay is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I got 8 of them, like I normally tend to do. If one pays out plus 18,700, just letting you guys
Oh,
know at the start of it. We got Brian Robinson Jr. at the Cowboys. I think it's Commanders. It's Brian Robinson Jr. He's the best running back on the team. They love defeating the ball. I'll take him all day. So Brian Robinson first. Then we got Josh Jacobs versus the Bears. We think the Packers are going to demolish them here. So I like Josh Jacobs to get in the end zone. He's had a great year so far. Then we're going Jonathan Taylor versus the Jags. It's in Indy. I like Jonathan Taylor here to have a big game. He's kind of playing for something, whether or not the Colts want to trade him or not. That's an off-season topic. But I like Jonathan Taylor here to get in the end zone. Then we're going Tyrone Tracy at the Eagles. I like the over in this game. You didn't, but we're taking Tyrone Tracy. He had a pretty good game last week. I like that to keep going. Then we're going Mike Evans versus the Saints. I mean, it's Mike Evans. He's going to get a lot of yards. He's going to get his 1,000, all that. He's going to have a big game. Then we got Joe Mixon at the Titans. Joe Mixon's probably only playing the first half, maybe first 3 quarters. I like Joe Mixon still to get in the end zone, though. Then we got Isaac Guerrero for the Niners. He's healthy. He's ready for this game at the Cardinals. Love that pick right there. Last but not least, Jackson Smith and Jigba at the Rams. Rams aren't even playing starters. Jackson Smith and Jigba and the boys, Gino, should be able to go all out, ball out. I like that there. Plus 18,742.
Sheesh, that is an insane number.
That's a money maker right there. That's a season winner right there.
That'd be a nice little number to hit there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for the second time. Last one was only
That
like
would be
7,000 or 8,000. This one's double that. So hit this, kind of end the
that'd be
season on a good streak, and then wait for round 1 of the playoffs.
right. All right, let me hop into mine real quick. I got Josh Jacobs also.
Nice.
I think he's going to run all over the Bears. I got Scary Terry. I've got Adam Thielen, Malik Neighbors. We just saw what he did last week against the Colts. I think he had 2 touchdowns. And then we got Devontae Adams. I think his last game with Aaron, potentially, they're going to pop off. And then I also have Mike Evans because he's Mike Evans. This thing pays out plus 10,558.
Nice, I like that. And you only had 6 picks too. Like that's the crazy thing is you could add one more touchdown score to that and it'd pay out like as much as mine, if not more.
Oh, I bet you I would pay out Matt if I took Garendo.
Yeah, exactly. And he's minus money. He's a lock, I think, this week to score.
Oh, is he minus money?
I'm pretty sure he's minus money because he's like the best player on the field.
Okay, JSN was probably plus money though now.
Yeah, he was. He was my last pick, and I was like, I got to juice this thing up a little bit. It was only at plus 8,000. I'm like, I already got 7 touchdown scores. Like, what are we doing? Then threw him on there, and
Right.
it bumped it up to 18. So I like that a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
hmm
All right, let's hop into prop scores. You want to start it off?
Yeah, prop parlay. Here we go. We're starting off hot. Jordan Love over 214 passing yards versus the Bears. Super easy number. It's literally what his line is. I love him to have a big game here. Next, we're going Jonathan Taylor over 84.5 rushing yards versus the Jags. He's at home, like I said, should have a big game. Tyrone Tracy, we're taking him 50-plus rushing yards at the Eagles. Eagles should be playing backup defenders, so I like Tracy to have a big game here. Then we're going Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's still one of the top guys in the league for passing touchdowns. We like this a lot here with Baker Mayfield. Then we're going Isaac Guerrero, 100-plus rushing and receiving yards against the Cardinals. Like I already talked about in the touchdown parlay, like Isaac Guerrero should be the featured guy in this offense this week, and I love it. So we'll take him for 100. Then we got Bo Nix over 1.5 passing touchdowns versus the Chiefs. I think Bo Nix is going to have a big game here if they want to win this, so I like him for 1.5. Then we got Geno Smith at 1.5 passing touchdowns at the Rams. Like Seahawks are playing for something to get ready for next year. Rams aren't playing for anything. Geno should have a big game here, I think. And that pays out plus 5,713. So a little on the lower side, especially compared to the touchdown parlay. But, that's kind of how props go. You kind of take the ones. Normally for my props, I'd take like a little plus money and kind of just like the minus money plays. I like it to hit. I like to get better odds of it hitting.
Right.
So that's what we got there
Okay.
for you guys.
Mine actually pays out a touch less than yours.
That is
with
surprising.
one pick.
Oh, okay.
With one less pick. I only put 6 picks in my props and touchdowns. I don't think I really ever go 7. But okay, so what I got Jordan Love for 2 passing touchdowns. I've got Jaden Daniels for 40-plus rushing yards. I have Mike Evans for 90-plus receiving yards. He needs 85-plus receiving yards to break the 1,000 yards, and he needs it to get the $250,000 incentive. So I think he'll do that. I got Geno Smith to throw for 250. I believe he needs like 218 yards to get a $500,000 incentive for crossing 4,000 passing yards on the season, or it's something like that. And then I got Cortland Sutton for 100-plus receiving yards. He needs like I think 75 to get an incentive for himself. And then I have Drew Lock to throw for 200-plus yards. Surprisingly, this is plus money. I don't really understand why, because he just threw for I think 400 last week.
Oh, okay.
So I love Drew Lock and Malik Neighbors to just go off. So that's why I put Neighbors in my touchdown score, and that's why I put Drew Lock in my in my prop, and so that pays out plus 53.38.
Okay, and Drew Lock's number was what?
200 flat.
Just 200. Okay, and then what
Yep.
about Jaden Daniels?
Jane Daniels is 40 plus rushing yards.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to double check. Okay,
Yep. So
I don't mind
pretty
that. Yeah,
simple
Drew
stuff.
Lock should be pretty
Not
good
getting
there.
too crazy. Gino for 250 is kind of a lot, but for a while, for half the season, he's been the passing leader till Joe Burrow, got lit on fire and then just flew right past him.
Yeah, pretty easily too. And Gino had that little slump for a couple weeks.
Oh, also, fun fact: if Burrow throws for 300 and something yards tonight, he hits 5,000 passing yards.
Nice. That
He's at
was
3670 or something like that.
4670.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hope that he can do that. That'd be nice for good
that'd
old
be pretty
Joe,
awesome. I
solidify
think the
himself going
last
for MVP.
the last QB to do that, I think, was Mahomes when he had that 50 touchdown season.
Yeah. Lux last year. Yep. Thanks for reminding me.
So,
All
yeah, hey,
right.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Teasers. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You want me to start?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm basically going with a bunch of my picks that were in here, and then I'm taking some that weren't. So I've got the Bucks teased down to a -8. I've also got the Bucks over teased down to 39.5. Then I've got the Packers teased to a -3.5, and the Packers over teased down to a 35.5. I have the Commanders teased down to a money line pick, just win the game. And then I've got the Dolphins Jets over teased down to 32.5. I was going to take the Titans because, as you guys know, the Titans over has hit for us every single week this year except for one. The total this week is 36.5. They're playing the Texans, but I just couldn't trust it. I didn't feel good about it. So instead of just blindly doing it, it's week 18. Everything's weird. I'm just taking Dolphins Jets. I think that game has the potential to be fun. So I like that over just 32.5, 33 points. It's not too much to ask. 15 from each team and then a field goal. I think that's gettable. So that's my 6 pick teaser.
Okay. And what was your fifth pick on that one? The one before Jets Dolphins.
Commanders money line. It's they're 6.5 point favorites, so it teases them down to a -0.5. So if
Okay.
they win the game, they cover the half point, and then bada bing.
Okay. I don't
And they
mind
have
that.
to win. They're gonna want to win, I think. So I don't see why they're just gonna roll over and lose.
Yeah, for sure. I don't mind that. You're taking the Bucks and the
Especially,
Packers overs.
yep,
Yeah, it makes sense. I brought them both to the table for the locks. I was pretty
yep,
confident with those. Obviously, you're more confident with the -6. The only thing that I'm going to say that I don't like on that is the fact that you didn't take the Titans. Because, like everybody knows here, the tease down, the over in the Titans games
yep.
tease down, has only not hit for us once this year.
One time.
One time. And you're going to throw that away because you're like, oh, they're playing against the Texans.
Yep.
That's crazy. All right, well, I'll jump into mine. We got Texans and Titans over 30.5. Love that pick
Yeah.
right there. Had to start off with that, twist the dagger a little bit. We're trusting it. We're riding with it. Then we're going Commanders at
Sure.
Cowboys over 38
Yep.
points. Love the over there in that game. Then we're going Saints at Bucks over 39 points. Like you have the Bucks game also teased down. I love the number teased down
Yep.
too. Then we're going Bears Packers. We're also taking the over on that teased down to a 35. Going Jags Colts over 39. Also on that. And then we got Giants at Eagles over 31. There are no spreads
Yep.
in this. Like you said, it's a weird week. I'm not taking outright winners. I'm not touching like Chiefs, plus 11 and teasing it to plus 17. I'm not doing anything crazy like that. We're just going with the overs
Right.
in these games. Like we talked about, we have bad teams playing in these games, but they're not playing for anything. So I just think that there's going to be a lot of points in these games. Defenses, especially if you're like a playoff caliber team, the defense technically doesn't have to play that well. They can it's kind of like, hey, we're out there, but we're kind of taking the week off. We're just, getting a good workout, a good exercise in because it doesn't matter, especially if you can't increase like your playoff position, which a lot of these teams can't. So I like this a lot. Just a lot of points to be scored this week. I think it'll actually be one of the highest scoring weeks for just across the board for a Sunday. I know that we had a couple that
Really.
were really bad, like starting the first couple weeks of the year, and then it kind of picked up. But yeah, I could see this being the highest scoring week of football so far this year.
Okay. I don't see it going that way, but I hope it does. So that way all these overs hits because the book clearly does not think it's going to be the highest scoring week. I think when I was looking at a lot of touchdown scores, almost there were tons of people that were plus crazy money, and then all these totals are so low.
Yeah, and that's why it's like we love them teased down.
Right, but the book doesn't make money by mislining their line.
No, but they could misline the games, the 6 games that I picked, and I'm okay with that.
Sure.
There's a lot of
Sure.
games on Sunday. There's a lot of games on Sunday. As many as there would normally be with no buys or anything like that because we had the 2 games on Saturday, no
Yeah,
Thursday,
there's
no Monday.
14.
Yep. Everybody's playing
14.
on Sunday besides the 2 teams that are, or the 4 teams that played today. So I love
Yep.
those picks for my teasers. I'm just taking the overs. I'm trusting it, and we're gonna hit on all of them. And then we'll be like, hey, we were right. Maybe it wasn't the highest scoring week, but it's like we don't need it to be the highest scoring week. I just have that feeling to it. We don't need that to
Sure.
be the case to hit on this teaser, just because, like you said, the over unders are set so low. It is kind of weird. Kind of makes you double, maybe second guess yourself. But that's why I think maybe a lot of people, you know, won't be doing it. Just like for your sake, where the book's trying to get in people's heads.
Sure. Sure.
hmm But other than that, Al, anything else you want to say? It's the last week. We got one more video until we hit the playoffs, which will be the Sunday night video. Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we do.
how's it been? How do you think the season went and all that?
I've had a blast. We've hit tons of bets. It's by far been the most profitable season I've ever for NFL. Um, No, I mean, it's been a blast doing the videos with you, and it's been cool to see the interaction we've gotten. It's been, not as much as we would have maybe hoped for, but the interaction we've gotten has been great. And we got 76 subs, which is pretty awesome. And we're looking to get hot, get into the playoffs, kind of like a playoff team, and then go on a run here and get all our picks correct. But I've loved every minute of it, and it's just been fun.
hmm
I'm gonna be sad when football season's over. It's always sad when football season ends.
It's always sad. It's gonna be even more sad. I won't be able to see your pretty face, 3, 4 times a week. But we'll still be talking and stuff like that. You'll also be doing your thing. We'll
Sure.
let you guys know what we're planning for the next couple months coming up. We got NHL playoffs, we got NBA playoffs, so a lot of opportunity there for us and for you guys to make some money
Yep.
too. But yeah, no, it's been a blast for sure. Definitely the most fun football season I would say, even though the Colts, just embarrassed the franchise
Yeah.
again for another year. But it's been a blast, and we can't thank you guys enough. Yeah, I mean, other than that, that's all we got for you guys. Thanks for the support. Tune in for Sunday Night Football, and let's go win a lot of money Week 18. And then yeah, like you
Yeah,
said,
good luck with all your bets. Good luck with all your bets, people.
all your bets. We know that you guys are probably betting more than just what we tell you to and what we're betting. But let us know in the comments. We'll catch you guys Sunday night.